Hey, you're watching GM6 Drone Mapping. Today we're going to go down to San Antonio, Texas. We're going to meet with Brian, who's the founder of Tuffwing. Now, Brian has created a UAV mapper and has integrated Emlid's Reach module in his aircraft.
So we have our airplane with Reach that's booting up for a rover, and our base station is out in the field running right now. And we already have a mission loaded up in the Tuffwing, and so we're going to go ahead and throw it up and take some pictures. So there's our geotags, and so we have 76 geotags.
Oh, okay.
13 are a float solution, and 63 are a fixed position. So this is pretty good. But the really interesting thing is when you zoom in even more, because okay, so each one of these dots, so the airplane's getting its position 5 times a second. But that's not good enough. Like the airplane going downwind was hauling. It was going 23, 24 meters a second. Oh. So it can have a huge error. Mm-hmm. So it can't use those positions. So if they take it a step further and they use time of when the actual event happened, they say, okay, I don't know where I'm at now, but I know where I was before now, and I know where I was right after now, and I know when now is in time of my two positions, my points I knew. So if you look at this one, so this lands right in between it. This is a fifth of a second. Oh. Between these two, so and it gave it a position of right of in between the 2 points. Mm-hmm. So it's interpolating these positions. They're doing the math. So the Emlid guys are doing that. If it's a 3D ground control point, when you process it, twist the model to fit your ground control. So if it's too wide, like say your football field, where it's 101 meters, and you say no, these points are actually exactly 100 meters apart. It'll take your model, squeeze it so it fits. That's what ground control does. And then if it's too high off the earth, it pulls it down or raises up. So a checkpoint doesn't do anything. It simply just tells you, hey, this is where your text file said the spot was. This is where you found the photos. These are your errors. Right. So I didn't do anything to it. So here's my errors. It's like on averages. You don't want to use an average because you have average is no good because one's to the left, one's to the right, then your average is in the middle, which that's no good. So you do RMS, which is just if you have one that's 8 centimeters off that way, one that's 8 centimeters off that way, then your RMS average is 8 centimeters. Basically 9 centimeters on the X, 9 on the Y, 10 on the Z. So 10 on the Z is pretty good. So we like to see, I like to come up and show people like it's 3 and 2 centimeters where you like this super tight. But this any surveyor you can totally design a subdivision and put roads in and everything on this when you have a utility. So it's already all set up. We have the cameras right here. Right. And what's super important too about the way I make them. So all the positions are coming off that antenna location. I even went back in and changed. When I set that antenna on the ground, like on these tank poles, but I kept it at the bottom. But I raised it up like 10 centimeters, and I counted for that. So the same thing goes on with the airplane. If you look at your camera, see that little line right there? Okay, yeah. So that line is that sensor. So everything's, this is just smack centered over when it sits in there. Everything's lined up perfectly centered over the center of that sensor. Right. And so your only offset, there's it's like 1 inch offset from the bottom of this antenna to the center of that sensor. So we're really close. And so when you have copters, it's harder to, okay, where's this camera going to go? Right. Where's this, you're going to scratch your head. You got to deal. So you don't want to deal, trying to deal with those offsets is a total pain. And there's that geotag file includes some orientation.
Right.
The reach has it has an IMU in it. It's
I didn't know that.
So you can mount it aiming forward, and then it knows if it's
right.
So if your antenna were here, if you get the antenna like this and it's going like this,
right? It's calculating.
Yeah, and it gives you some positioning numbers. I haven't messed with. You can solve this offset because if you're over here, you're playing something like this or something. You have to. It's complicated. The Earth is Z is always straight down. It's turning like this, and you're not up straight above it anymore. You're over.
Right.
So but you can get those positions in attempt to practice. I've a lot of people have trouble doing that. So you don't have to worry about it. We're over it. The airplane's usually plumb. We're flying. Except when it's turning, we're not taking pictures. Like pictures when it's turning.
Right.
So it's pretty close. I mean, it's just directly over that. So you can actually. I could go subtract. For my geotags, I could subtract this offset, which is 1 inch. I could take off 2 centimeters.
And how often were you saying the reach takes a GPS?
5 times a second.
5 times a second. Okay.
Right. So but then the Hachi signal comes anytime.
Right.
But it records the nanosecond, millionth of a second or something when that happens. So it can find that point in between where it goes.